Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanacharya Yamuna Tira Vanacharya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jai Anandi Gaudiya Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Jai Shri Gandharashama Bhagavatam ki, Nitai Gaura Premanandi ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasta Preshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance on the classes of Bhagavatam and by rendering our service to pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the glorious Lord, who is praised by transcendental loving songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 8, Text 27. Mukhena lokarti harasmitena parishpurat kundala manditena sonaitena darabimbhavasa pratyarhayantam sunasena subhravam. Mukhena lokarti harasmitena parishpurat kundala manditena sonaitena darabimbhavasa pratyarhayantam sunasena subhrava. Mukhena lokarti harasmitena parishpurat kundala manditena sonaitena darabimbhavasa प्रत्यार्हयन्तं सुनसेन सुभ्रवा. Anybody want to chant? Oh. Kundalamanditena Darabindavasa. Mataji's. Mukhena, by the gesture of the face. Loka arti hara, vanquisher of the distresses of the devotees. Smithena, by smiling. Parispurat, dazzling. Kundala, earring. Manditena, decorated with. Sona itena, acknowledging. Adara, of his lips. Bimba, reflection. Bhasha, rays. Pratyarhayantam, reciprocating. Sunasena, by his pleasing nose. Subhrava, and pleasing eyebrows. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. He also acknowledged the service of the devotees and vanquished their distress by his beautiful smile. The reflection of his face, decorated with earrings, was so pleasing because it dazzled with the rays of his lips and the beauty of his nose and eyebrows. Purport. Devotional service to the Lord is very much obliging to him. There are many transcendentalists in different fields of spiritual activities, but devotional service to the Lord is unique. Devotees do not ask from the Lord in exchange for their service. Even the most desirable liberation is refused by the devotees, although offered by the Lord. Thus, the Lord becomes a kind of a debtor to the devotees, and he can only try to repay the devotees' service with his ever enchanting smile. The devotees are ever satisfied by the smiling face of the Lord, and they become enlivened. And by seeing the devotees so enlivened, the Lord himself is further satisfied. So there is a continuous transcendental competition between the Lord and his devotees by such reciprocation of service and acknowledgement. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshusmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vitam Cha Namo Vishmudaya Krishna Prasthaya. So we are reading from Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 8, Text 27. So this comes along in a series of verses when Brahma takes darshan of the personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan. And from text 23 or 24 onwards, Lord Brahma sees the brilliant, gigantic Ananda Shesh in a bed form. And on lying on the bed, he sees Lord Vishnu dazzling in brilliant effulgence and bedecked with jewels. So, like that, he sees the darshan and is describing the darshan of the Lord. And in the previous verse, we saw how the Lord Brahma describes the lotus feet of the Lord. And in the process of meditation, this is how we meditate upon the Lord. We meditate by taking darshan of the lotus feet of the Lord. Then we come to and then we go up, and then we look at the face of the Lord and his brilliant smile. So in the previous verse, the darshan of the lotus feet was explained, and in this verse, the darshan of the face is explained. And here in this verse, it is very nicely described how his face, he has very nice lips, the beauty of his nose is so nice, he has nice eyebrows, he has a very nice enchanting smile that enlivens the devotees. So like this, you can see how Brahma is taking darshan and describing his darshan. I'm not too sure whether there is an echo. Do you all hear an echo? Okay, then that's fine. So this comes along, and in the next few verses also, it comes along how he describes various aspects of the Lord. So this series of verses is there, and we try and speak something about this verse. Last week, Devikinandan Prabhu gave a very nice class about the lotus feet of the Lord. So this week, we'll try and speak. It's a bit difficult to speak after Devikinandan Prabhu's class, but let's try to speak something. So one main thing that comes out from this verse is that the Lord is very personal. He's personal with his devotees. We have all these social media, friends, Facebook and all that. And the Facebook, I can say I have Facebook account and I have 1,000 friends. But really the 1,000 friends, if you ask them, really you have 1,000 friends, actually it's not so true. The 1,000 friends is someone that you know me, I know you, that kind of friends. But really the close friends, the kind of friends that you know them very personally, you go to their house, they come to your house, you know their father, their mother, their children, everybody, that kind of close friends, maybe hardly 5 of them. But these are the friends that you feel much, much closer to. There's much more reciprocation, much more relation. The other kind of friends, yes, you know them, they are working here, they are studying here, you know roughly something about them. But other than that, you don't really know much about them. So the Lord, this kind of personal relationship is what that really touches the heart. And here, the smile of the Lord is very much explained. That when the Lord is pleased, he smiles. It is not that he gives a very grave face. There's no. He smiles when he sees the transcendental service that is provided, that is given to him by the devotees. He sees that and he smiles. Just like how we see when we get some nice prasadam, or we get some good grades in school, we smile, we get happy. Similarly, we see the Lord is also smiling. Very personal, no? And there are verses in Bhagavatam and verses in Bhagavad Gita where the description of the Lord is given. Like there's a verse in Bhagavad Gita, Kavim Puranam Anusasitaram Anoraniyam Manusmare Ya Sarvasya Dataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. This kind of verse describes the Lord, describes the qualities of the Lord. But the description is it's about his qualities, his opulence. Kavim, he is very knowledgeable. Puranam, he is very old. He's the oldest of all beings. Anusasitaram, he's the controller. Anoraniyam, he's the smallest among the smallest. Sarvasya Dataram, he's the maintainer of everything that we see. Then Achintya Rupam. His Rupa is inconceivable. We can't really understand what his Rupa is like. Aditya Varnam. His body is very effulgent, like luminous like the sun. And Tamasa Parastat. He is transcendental to this material nature. But this description describes the Lord perfectly. But it does not describe him as a person. Unlike here in this verse, you see that his description of the face is given. He's wearing a nice earring. It's very personal. And such description really pleases the heart of the devotee. There is this verse in Bhagavatam where it's a very, very nice verse that he says that it is by my supremacy alone that I'm maintaining everything. And it's out of fear of me that the wind blows. It is out of fear of me that the fire burns. It is out of fear of me that the shower, Indra showers, rain upon us. It is out of fear of me that death, personification of death, goes around and taking in stone. It is out of fear of me that sun god traverses the orbit. Just a side point, I was just reading, when I was looking at this verse, I was just reading how precise our orbit is. That Earth goes around the sun precisely 365.256. It's that precise. And every year it goes around in such a precise time. And the distance the Earth actually has to travel is about 950 million kilometers. That's the kind of distance. And the Earth travels about 100,000 kilometers per hour. So imagine the kind of speed, the distance that it is traveling, and it is precise, 365.256 days. Do you know how much precision that is? But such description of the Lord establishes the supremacy of the Lord. And we understand, Supreme Lord, He's such a great personality. But that relationship, the reciprocation is not so much there. Devotees are not so much excited by this. When in the Vrindavan Leela, when Govardhan, just after the Leela of Govardhan hill, after Krishna lifted up the Govardhan hill and the whole episode is over, now Indra finally realized that, this is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even with my 1,000 eyes, I couldn't see him. Now I'm in big trouble. So Indra came down and he brought Surabhi along, and he brought Surabhi and you please go and worship Krishna first. So in that series of verses, Indra prays to him very nicely and gives him his respectful obeisances. And after that, he does a very nice arti ceremony. But Krishna was not so much excited by it. He was like, okay, I will accept whatever, He would just. But after that, and this arti ceremony was done perfectly. Everything was perfect. The paraphernalia was perfect. The way that it was done was perfect. Correct number of rounds. Everything was there. But when after that the Gopas were there and he was looking from the groves from the trees and he saw, who is this? What is happening? And then after Indra and everybody, all the devatas, they left, the Gopas came. The paraphernalia was still there. And then they took the thing and started imitating. They did this way, that way. The number of rounds is all this way. And then they started having fun. And at this point, Krishna was very, very, very happy. He was smiling and was joking and laughing with his Gopa friends. This is reciprocation of relationship with the devotees. Again, on this point of Govardhan Leela, it is so nice that when Govardhan was lifted for 7 days, Govardhan was lifted. And for 7 days, Krishna was standing there and all the Vrindavan Vasis were under the hill. The elderly Gopas, the elderly Gopis, who sought him like how a mother would see a child. The elderly Gopas were very proud. to see him like a very grown-up son. This boy has become a man. They are very proud. They're very proud in a very fatherly manner. Then you have the Gopa friends in a friendly mood. They were joking and playing with Krishna. Then you had the gopis. They were looking at him with shyful glances. Then you had the animals, cows, and not just cows. You had all the other animals in the Vrindavan. The bull, the peacock, the parrot, and all these other animals. They all were there, and they all were relating to Krishna in their own personal capacity. This is how Krishna reciprocates with each and every devotee according to their devotional mood. There's this nice verse in Bhagavatam. It comes in the episode where Krishna goes to the arena of Mathura, goes to the arena of Kamsa in Mathura. So we know that Krishna goes to Mathura and on the invitation of Kamsa, on the behest of Kamsa, on the pretext of attending some ceremony, some festival. But Kamsa had other plans, we all know that story. So Krishna will go to Mathura, he will see all the various devotees, and finally he will come to the arena. It's almost like a stadium. All the Mathuravasis are all sitting there. Then you have the entourage of those who came along with Krishna from Vrindavan. They were also there. Then you had Kamsa, all the Bhoja dynasty. Then you had the Vrishnis. You had the wrestlers who were also waiting to fight and bash Krishna up. So all of them were there. And at that point, Krishna walks into the arena. And at this point, Bhagavatam has a very nice verse. And I would like to recite that verse. Mallanam asanir nirnam naravara Srinam smaro murtimam Gopanam swajano satam shitibujam Shashta swapritro shishu Mrityu bojapate viradanudasam Tadvam param yoginam Vrishninam paradevate vidito Rangam gata sagrajam. I hope I got some of the words right. Sometimes I can't even read my handwriting. So here, Krishna is walking into the arena. And each devotee sees him in a different way. The wrestlers saw Krishna and they were like, here is Krishna. And they saw him like a lightning bolt in the enemy mood. They wanted to okay, I'm here, and then he's... And then the Mathuravasis, the men of Mathura, they saw Krishna and they saw him as the best of men, the greatest hero, the best of men. He's walking in. Then you saw the Mathura women of Mathura. They saw him with conjugal affection. And then you had the Bhoja dynasty, king of Bhoja dynasty, Kamsa. He saw him and he saw death approaching him. Then you had all the other Kamsa's entourage, all the impious kings. And they saw him also with such animosity as the chastiser. Then from the entourage of the Vrindavan, Nanda Maharaj and the elderly Gopas, they saw him and they saw, here's my child, he's walking very nicely, beautifully. The Gopas, they saw him, his childhood friends. They saw him and he saw, Krishna is going, hey, see, wrestlers are there. I'm sure you can handle them. You have beaten up so many asuras. I'm sure this is not easy, but you take care of him. That bald guy that bald wrestler he's doing so much action. Then you saw the Brahmanas, and the Brahmanas saw him as absolute truth. Then you saw the Vrishnis, they saw him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So like that, every single one saw him in their own devotional mode. So this is how Krishna relates with all the devotees. There was this very nice verse that Devikananda Prabhu recited last week, but it's such a nice verse that I thought I would just also share the same verse. Barha pidam Natavaravapu karnayo karnikaram Bibradvasa kanakakapisham Vaijayantim chamalam Randram venu radara sudaya Purayan gopa vrinde Vrindaranyam swapadaramanam Pravisargita kirti. It's such a very nice verse. It describes the Lord very nicely. The first one, Barhapidam, where he wears a peacock feather on his head. And when we see peacock feather and flute, just like when our society, the logo is a peacock feather and a flute. The moment you see peacock feather and a flute, immediately you think of Krishna. The association is very direct. Krishna means there's peacock feather and must be flute. So Bharapidam, he wears a nice peacock feather on his head. Natavara is such a very nice expert dancer. And in many plus in Vrindavan Leela, you see how he's dancing, how he has danced. This pastime of Kaliya comes to mind. How when he was chastising Kaliya was there with his 1,000 hoods, and he was wanted to strike Krishna with his head. But Krishna was standing on one head, with the other head he was striking. But Krishna will jump on that head. Then with the other head, Kaliya wants to strike and he will jump. But the way he jumped, Krishna was jumping, and he was described that he looked like as if he was dancing on the hoods of Kaliya. Now for us, if you are given a stage and we want to dance, it's quite difficult. Imagine Krishna is dancing. We used to do this very often during our festivals, Janmashtami. We miss that quite often. Janmashtami, Gaur Purnima, we have the Matajis who come and do some very nice dance, glorifying the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord. And if you ask them, they will say, oh yes, we practice for many hours beforehand, for weeks before. We practice many times, and that's how we have come to dance. But Krishna here, he's dancing on the hood of Krishna, on the Kaliya, who is swimming in the ocean, and the hoods are jumping here and there, and he's jumping. And Krishna is so nicely, and from the banks of Yamuna, all the Vrindavan Vasis were there, and they saw Krishna, and Krishna is dancing so nicely on the hoods of Kaliya. And then they started playing musical instruments to accompany the nice, beautiful dancing of the Lord. This is how Krishna is. We can see a glimpse of how expert Krishna is as a dancer. Then Karnayo Karnikaram. Then he wears a nice flower, Karnikara flower, on his ears. So there is a very nice reason behind this, or episode behind this. So Krishna, when he goes grazing, he goes in the morning, he will bring the cows, and he goes out to graze the cows. And at this point, and sometime in the late morning, the gopis will go out with all their milk and milk products. They will go to the market to sell. So somewhere along this time of the day, they will happen to secretly meet at some forest or some kund or something, and and Krishna and the gopis will have nice reciprocation of devotional service. Now, how do they meet? Because social custom, young girls are not supposed to be speaking to young boys, So how do they meet? So it is said that this Krishna, he will walk. When he goes out, he will see so many forest flowers and everything is there, all the different colors. He will take one of the flowers and he will put it on his ear. And based on and this becomes a secret code. Based on what flower he picks, what color, what type of flower, what color the flower is, and which ear he puts, that becomes a secret code for the gopis. And somewhere the gopis will get to know, Krishna is wearing this flower on his ear, and they will know, this means that he is going to meet us there in this particular place. If he wears another flower on this ear, then he knows, he will be this side. He will be in Gop. So this is how Krishna was communicating with the gopis. This was such very nice, beautiful pastime. Bibrat Vasa, Kanaka Kapisham, that he wears a very nice golden yellow garments. Vaijayanti Chamalam. where he wears a nice garland of forest flowers. Randran Venun Adara Sudaya, where he plays the flute. He plays the flute and he plays very beautifully, so much so that the moment you hear the flute, all the troublesome things in the heart suddenly becomes all subsides, all disappears. Vrindaranyam Swapadaramanam. So and Krishna walks along Vrindavan and he marks Vrindavan with his footprints. So this is also very interesting because in the entire Krishna Leela, Krishna walks barefoot in Vrindavan. In Dwaraka, he wears shoes, paduka. In every other place, he wears. When he went to Mathura, he was wearing paduka. He was wearing shoes. When he went to Dwaraka, he was wearing shoes. When he was with the Pandavas in Hastinapur, he was wearing shoes. In Kurukshetra war, he was wearing shoes. In every other aspect of his pastime, he was wearing shoes and he was walking with shoes on. Only in Vrindavan, he was walking barefooted. And the lotus feet of the Lord directly touched Mother Earth. And that is why when we go to Vrindavan, we know that this dirt, Vrindavan dirt that we are seeing has been personally touched by the lotus feet, directly touched by the lotus feet of the Lord. In this aspect, there is a very nice pastime. It comes also just after Govardhan Puja, Govardhan Leela. And after Govardhan Leela, the elderly Gopas, they thought, okay, Krishna now has become grown old. He has become a boy, has become a man now. So the cowherds, they have this tradition that small boys, they will take care of the calves. And the calves, they will bring out the calves just behind in the backyard of the house, not too far away. They won't go too far away. They'll just graze around the backyard of the house just to get used to the whole idea of how to manage cows. So that is how the young boys are. But now, after Govardhan Leela, the Gopas were thinking, this boy has become big man, no? He has protected all of us by carrying the thing. He's big man. So we should not be treating him like a boy. He should, become and take care of the cows. Be a big man and take care of the cows. So they wanted to do a nice ceremony to formally give him a set of cows. And this is your cows. Please go and graze them. That they have this nice ceremony that they do. So this story, this pastime, there are many things that are there. But one small part is there that someone told Mother Yashoda, hey, calves you are just bringing to the backyard, so it's not so bad, But cows means you have to go to Vrindavan, you have to go to all the other forests of Vrindavan in Vrajabhumi. And then there are so many stones, and you have to go through the forest. There are thorns and creepers, and there are many stones, and it's very hard. And you will prick the lotus feet of the Lord. Yashoda was like, yes, you prick my boy's feet is so soft and so gentle. No, this is not good. So Yashoda Mata will make a nice pair of slippers, and he will give to Krishna. The day before the ceremony, he will give to Krishna. I see, Krishna, there you will be going out with the cows. There are so many stones and the path is very stony and very rocky. So please wear this slipper so that your feet is. So Krishna will be like, okay, I will wear. But where are the other slippers? What other slippers? And Krishna says, yes, I'm not going alone. I'll be going with my Gopa friends. So the Gopa friends also must have slippers. So where are the other slippers? So Yashoda said, yeah, they will get their slippers from their own mothers. Then Krishna thought, okay, but I am now going to take care of the cows. The cows are now given to me. I'm supposed to be protecting the cows. So now I have to wear slippers because of all the thorny bushes and stones and all that. But the cows are also barefooted. Wear the slipper for the cows. Now Yashoda almost fainted. Because there are so many thousands of cows, and each cow has 4 legs. So you do the max. So Yashoda was, no, cows, they have hoofs and they have, no. If I am wearing slipper, means all the cows also must wear slipper. If the cows don't have slipper, then I am also not wearing slipper. So Krishna was very stubborn about this. Yashoda was trying, but Krishna was very stubborn. At this point, the cows overheard this conversation. And then the cows had an emergency meeting. They brought all the cows together and then started, okay, we have a serious situation. And I'm translating, we have a very serious situation. See, Krishna is now going to take care of us, and he's going to go from Talavan to Madhuvan to all the different forests of Vrindavan. And then all the parts, we all know how stony and rocky the parts are. And Krishna is refusing to wear slippers. Yashoda is trying very hard, and Krishna is refusing. And Yashoda cannot convince Krishna. So now we have a mission, overnight mission. Because next day is the ceremony. So overnight mission. What is the mission? The cows said that let's go all directions, and we will pound the land and all the rocks into fine sand. And in that way, when Krishna walks, it is actually very soft and very smooth, very feather-like. So all the cows went, and overnight they were pounding and pounding and pounding the whole land, such that all the land, the sand became fine and soft as cotton. So if you go now and if you really see Vrindavan dust, it is very fine. And if you walk on the Vrindavan dust, it is very, very nice to walk on, very, very soft. So this is how Krishna was walking on the barefoot in the lands of Vrindavan. And the last part, Pravishta Gita Kirti, that Krishna and his Gopa friends will walk along this Vrindavan and singing song and dancing and very jolly, very jolly he will walk. So this is how Krishna relates with the devotees. Very personal, and hearing this, it becomes very sweet. It's very sweet pastimes. So at this point, we will look at so similarly, we also see how the pastimes of the Pandavas, they also are very much dependent on Krishna, totally dependent on the mercy of Krishna. In the Kunti Devi prayers, you see how Kunti Devi prays how Krishna has protected them from all calamities, from the fire. The story of how the palace was built with all flammable materials, and they set the palace on fire, hoping to burn the Pandavas and Kunti Devi inside it. But Krishna saved them. Then there are so many episodes where they were in the forest and there were cannibals. There were all these demons. And then there was, and even at home, there was the assembly of Kurus, and all the different personalities are there who is meditating on how we can defeat and kill the Pandavas. So they have to survive within the assembly of the Kurus also. We know the story of how Draupadi was brought to the assembly of the Kurus and disrobed without a care for the husbands who were sitting there, without a care for all the elders who were sitting in the assembly. Such inimical behavior they were exhibited, and they had to receive all these things. There's the story of Durvasha Muni. Durvasha Muni, he comes and he has this reputation of being very short-tempered. He gets angry very fast and he will curse. So Durvasha Muni, he came and this was when Pandavas were in the forest living out their exile. Durvasha Muni came to them with his 1,000 disciples and he said, I'm here. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, being the very perfect host, he said, come, please come here. There's a very nice river. Please go and refresh yourself. And after that, when you come back, we can have nice prasadam. So Durvasha Muni, yes, okay. Then they went to the river and they started and they refreshed themselves. Here, Draupadi was sweating. Because Draupadi, she got a boon, a benediction, a special bowl, this Akshaya Patra. That, that the Akshaya Patra will give as much as is required until Draupadi has her meal. Until Draupadi has a meal, the pot will give as much as required. So, if the pot, but the problem was, Draupadi already finished the meal. So the pot has finished production. If Draupadi hadn't finished the meal, then 1,000 disciples or 10,000 disciples doesn't matter. The pot will just give. But now, Draupadi has finished. And you have these 1,000 disciples with Durvasha Muni, and they were all very afraid. Oh, now what is happening? Immediately, Draupadi called out for Krishna. Krishna was somewhere in Dwarka. Immediately, Krishna came. And we know the story how Krishna came. And Draupadi was like, no, we have a big problem now. No. I will listen to your problem later, but I'm very hungry now. Please give me something. No, but that's my problem. No. You just give me something. I'm not in the mood to hear anything. Just give me something. But that's the problem. I finished eating and I've got nothing to give you. No, I'm sure there is something. Please bring the pot. You are just saying something. So Draupadi bought. See, it's empty. Krishna saw. No, it is not there. And he went scraped one small little piece of sak. And he said, this is there. And he immediately took that. And he said, now I am fully satisfied. And at this point, all the disciples and Durvasha Muni and all these 1,000 disciples who were bathing in the banks of Yamuna river, they immediately felt very full. When you feel full, you start burping, They all started burping and they all started exhibiting signs of, full belly. And they were like, oh no, now we are taking bath and refreshing ourselves. And Yudhishthira Maharaj must have been preparing such nice feast for all of us. And we better not go there. So they quickly, and then they left hurriedly from there without even seeing Yudhishthira Maharaj after that. So this is how Krishna protects. And in many ways, Krishna was protecting Pandavas. In the battle also, you see how Krishna was protecting Pandavas in every aspect. Every day, Krishna was protecting the Pandavas. We know the story of Jayadratha. How Arjuna very nicely made that promise that I will kill Jayadratha the very next day. And then Krishna was thinking, how are you going to kill? And then, Krishna, you are here. You will think about it. And Arjuna went to sleep very nicely. Krishna was awake the whole night trying to think, okay, how do I do this? And the next day, the Kauravas, they were very expert. Dronacharya is there. He's very expert tactician, military tactician. So what he did was he formed a pincer formation. Long story short, it's a very long needle-like formation. So the Pandavas were here and a very long needle-like formation. And right at the end of the formation is Jayadratha. So to get to Jayadratha, you had to go through this entire row of all the army, Kaurava army. So imagine how difficult is it must. But Krishna and Arjuna, they fought. Arjuna fought and Krishna maneuvered the chariot in such an expert way that he managed to keep the promise intact. So like that, there are so many ways that Krishna protected the Pandavas. And finally, when Uttara was there, and she was with Parikshit in the womb of Uttara, and then Ashwatthama will release the Brahmastra weapon to kill this unborn child, this Parikshit in the womb. Uttara will come running and says, look, Parikshit is here, the last in this dynasty. Please, and this is a great devotee, you please save him. And Krishna immediately saved. Pandavas were there, they were trying to take the arrows, but Krishna knew that they will not be able to react on time. So immediately Krishna took his Sudarshan Chakra, protected all the Pandavas, and Krishna went inside the womb of Uttara and protected the womb from the Brahmastra weapon. So in every which way, the Pandavas were protected in this way. And Bhishmadev prays that actually, aho kashtam aho anyayam, that Yudhishthira Maharaj, you have gone through so much of trouble, so much of anyaya, that you, although you are the son of religion personified, that you have gone through all these troubles and all these kind of things, that actually normal people, they would have given up and they would have died long time ago. But the last line Bhishma Dev prays is very instructive. That he says that you are protected by Vipra, Dharma, Achyuta, Ashraya. That you are protected by the Ashraya of the Brahmanas, the Sadhus, by your religious practice, and by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Achyuta. And this is because Pandavas, they were completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. Completely dependent. Prabhupada writes in the purport that a devotee should work very nicely, very expertly, with all valor, work with valor, but at the same time depend completely on the mercy of the Lord. And this is what Pandavas did. Arjuna did not fight. He did not, after listening to Nimitra Matram Bhava Savyasachi, no, I have killed everyone. Krishna says, oh, I have already killed everyone. You just be my weapon. So Arjuna did not become very careless with his fighting. He was not like, just throw the arrow this way, that way, close his eyes, he did not do that. He really fought with all valor. He came back with all sore muscles, with bruises here and there. He came back. That's how Arjuna fought, with full valor. But at every juncture of the battle, Arjuna was completely dependent on mercy of the Lord. He completely asked Krishna, what to do now? Okay, how do I do this? What to do? And it is because of this that Krishna reciprocated by protecting his devotee very nicely. And this comes to the next point, how that a devotee means that he completely understands that his constitutional position as the servant of Krishna. Completely understands. That means that by body, mind, and words, he practices what he speaks. It is quite easy to say that I am servant of Krishna, I have to do seva. But then when seva comes, actually today is not a very good day. Today I'm actually got some other program. Today I'm feeling a little, my leg is paining, my arm is paining. This is, so by body, mind, and words, that you are completely dependent, completely realize at this point that you are the servant of Krishna and not the servant of this body. The body will demand so many things. But we have to be determined to ignore, neglect such demands of the body and be determined in our service to Krishna. As this verse in Bhagavatam, it comes somewhere in the conversations of Jadabharat and Rahuna, and Jadabharat will say that this mind, uncontrolled mind, is the greatest. It's very, very powerful. And Prabhupada translates this word as very, very powerful. He does not say powerful, he does not say very powerful, he says very, very powerful. And if you neglect or if you do not take care of this mind and control this mind, it will become victorious. How will it become victorious? Victorious in making you forget your constitutional position as the servant of the Lord. So then Jadabharat will say that actually there is one weapon. There is a weapon to control the mind, to defeat the mind. There is a weapon. When we want to defeat something, we need a weapon. So to defeat the mind, there is a weapon. And what is that weapon? The weapon is service to Guru and Krishna. Sadhu, Guru and Krishna. This is the weapon. That when we serve the devotees, when we serve the Lord with full attention, then we are able to control the mind. The mind will tell you so many things, demands of the body, so many demands of the body, the mind will tell you. But by this service mood and by determination, then we are able to control the demands of the mind, we are able to control the demands of the body, and we are able to serve the Lord with our best of our ability. And this attentive devotion and devotional service needs to be performed in an attentive way. You must be very attentive. Just like a child, if a mother is serving the child will cry, sometimes the child will cry, and the mother is able to know from the pitch, from the sound, from the tone, from the volume, from the inflection, from the tone, from everything, you will know, this means the child is hungry. This kind of crying means the child is uncomfortable. This kind of crying means the something wrong with the shirt that he's wearing. This kind of crying means he must have gone number 1 or number 2 job. Just by the sound. And how does the mother know? Because she's very attentive and very minutely notice all the micro expressions, all the sound, all the behavior. By very scrutinizingly seeing the child, the mother is able to see, this must be the problem. When we serve, when some guests come to the house, and the guests will come, sit, and they serve them prasadam, and the host have to be very attentive to how the guest is taking. If the rice is there and you see him struggling with the rice, you need more dal, okay. That's how we serve. We need to be very attentive. And not half attention, full attention. Now we have all these phones and all that. We are chanting in one hand and suddenly the phone will ring and it will be like, let me see what is that. We have direct connection to the Lord. And then we are thinking this is quite important. This kind of attention, if we show this kind of attention, then Krishna, how can Krishna reciprocate with you? Just like we are having a phone call with the Prime Minister of the land, and then another phone call comes, will we be interested in that phone? No, we will say, let me finish this call, this is very important call, and then I'll gather something else. No, that kind of mood must be there. That kind of attention we must pray. And how we pray, how much attention we give when we serve the child, that kind of attention we must give when we perform devotional service. And when we perform devotional service, and in that way, when we perform devotional service with such great determination to control the mind, we know this mind has to be, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj says you must beat the mind every morning. That is how much we must be very conscious of the demands of the mind. We must be very determined, and we must be very attentive how we are doing our devotional service. And when we do that, then we will truly understand that this truly come to our position as servitors of the Lord. And then when we reciprocate with the Lord in that way, when we serve and reciprocate with the Lord will reciprocate with us. And in that way, in that stage, the Lord, the devotee, do not want anything. Do not want anything. This pastime of Kolavecha Sridhar comes to mind. So you know that Kolavecha Sridhar is a very poor Brahmana. And for his livelihood, he used to sell banana leaves or banana cups or banana leaves, some banana products. Not much revenue, not much income you can get. So Kolavecha Sridhar will sell his banana leaves, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will come and he will see Kolavecha Sridhar, what are you selling? Oh, banana leaves. No, but this is not very good. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will haggle with Kolavecha Sridhar. This is not very good. How much are you selling? Oh, this much. This is too much price. You must cut the price by half. I only am going to give you half the price. This is too much. And then, no, you are giving me half price. No, you are giving me one. No, you must give me the whole stack. So like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will haggle with Kolavecha Sridhar. And it happens every day. Every day for 2-3 hours, Nimai Pandit will come there and haggle with Kolavecha Sridhar. And finally, Kolavich, yeah, you take whatever you want to give me, you take. But after all this haggling, Kolavich Sridhar was feeling very pleased, very satisfied, very pleased with this, with that episode. And later on, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu calls Kolavich Sridhar and he says, "Look, you have been such a very nice devotee. Ask me whatever you want. Ask me." And Kolavich Sridhar says, "No, I don't want anything." And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "I'm Krishna. I am Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Everything animate, inanimate belongs to me. Everything belongs to me. You ask me, Daiviyesha Gunamaya Mama Maya Duradeya. This whole material nature belongs to me. You ask me whatever you want. You want wealth, I can give you. How much you want, I can give you. You want beauty, you want knowledge, intelligence, I can give you anything. What do you want?" Kolavich Sridhar says, "I don't want anything. Do you want yoga siddhis? You want all these mystic powers from yogic perfection? I can give you all the 8 siddhis. I can give you all these. No, I don't want all these. Then what do you want? I can give you liberation. Suffering this material world, I'll give you liberation from this material world and come back to my abode. I'll give you this. No, I don't want liberation either. What do you want?" Kolavich Sridhar says, "If you really want to give, then you give me one thing. That lifetime after lifetime, that I will become this poor Brahmana and I will be selling this banana leaf, and then you have to come and haggle with me every morning for 2-3 hours for my products. This is what I want." This is how a devotee reciprocates. And after hearing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there's nothing Mahaprabhu can do. Krishna, he's lost because he has everything, but the devotee don't want anything. He just wants his loving devotion, loving reciprocation. And in that mood, Krishna smiles. And looking at the smile of Krishna, the devotee will look at the smile. Krishna is smiling. And he enlivens the heart of the devotee. And he rejuvenates the devotee even further. And he will do even more service with full vigor, even more renewed vigor. And seeing the service of the Lord and service of the devotee, how the devotee is doing even more service, the Lord becomes even more pleased. And the Lord smiles. And like that, this reciprocation between the Lord and the devotee is so transcendently blissful. And it's so transcendently pleasing to hear. And this is how we have to relate, and we have to, and to come to this stage, we have to be very attentive and very determined in our devotional service, in our practice of devotional service. We come to the end of the class. Hare Krishna. Is there any comments or any questions? Jai Gandharashama Bhagavatam ki Jai, Anandi Guru Vaishnavanda ki, Nitai Gaura Premanand ki, Hare